Hey guys, gwyned here. I am bringing you a Standard Pauper Deck Tech of Forli's um, Junkkeepers deck that he took to first place in MPDC 2505. And as it is, I'm actually playing against Forli for this particular match. Let's see what we got here. Got 3 lands. No black, but got the Unknown Shores, only 1 gate. This is marginal, but I think it's keepable. Opponent is mulliganing down. Looks like he mulliganed down to 6. And we are off. Probably the mirror here, although of course there's no way of knowing yet. Courser's Accord, not real great in this spot. This deck runs 4 of these, which seems a little aggressive, but for this particular matchup, since this was a brand new deck, I didn't want to make any changes, just wanted to go ahead and run it. So I do draw the black here, which is pretty good. It does look like he is probably playing the same thing I am. So this is indeed the mirror. It is the mirror. This should be a very long and grindy game then. So on 3 here, nothing to do. Got the gates I need. We'll just play planes and pass. So have no idea what would be good in the in the mirror here, as it were. So let's see. This is a Seller of Songbirds. That's fine. Gives him the ability to start pinging me for some pretty early damage, which is good. Also good with Altar's Reap in the deck. All right. So now we'll go ahead and play out the Sunspire here. And let's see what we're dealing with. So he's got a Deadly Recluse. That's pretty good for him. Hit me for 1. Let's see, what do we draw? We draw a second Stab Wound. I'm tempted to actually go ahead and Stab Wound the Deadly Recluse. I think that's fine. Could have Celestial Flare here, but I think I'm okay with that too. So let's see what my opponent wants to do here. Does he have the flare? Doesn't look like he does. So I'm going to go ahead and use my flare then. Hit for 2. Now he could have his own flare still. He does not. Play to land, and we'll pass the turn back. So let's see what he's going to do here. He's certainly got enough gates. Has all its colors. It looks like I've got most of my colors too. 1 more green would be nice. But next turn I will be able to use Courser's Accord, which is going to be pretty good for me. So he'll hit for 1 with his little bird. And it's just passing the turn back. That's interesting. Wow, drew another Courser's Accord. So we'll run that out there. I think I'll just copy the 3/3. And swing in. So I would say this has been an above par draw for me. Let's see, so he's got, now he has, oh, he's going to Altar's Reap his guy. Okay, that's a good move. That's basically why you play Altar's Reap, because you got the ability to block and then sacrifice. Pretty good for him. He draws 2 more cards, right? Yeah, 2 more cards. Let's see what he's got now. So this deck does run, yeah, I was about to say the Ubelsol, so he'll be able to get some value out of that. But no real reason not to keep attacking here. He doesn't have 2 white up anymore, so don't have to worry about that. Swing in with these. He'll block 1 of the 3/3s, drop to 11. Now if I wanted to, I could go ahead and Stab Wound here to get rid of it, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and get another Courser out. Should be able to just run him over at this point. See what he wants to do here. But you're getting a pretty good view of the deck, not only from me, but from my opponent, which is, I think, pretty good for a deck here. So pretty happy with the results so far. Either way, you'll get to see this deck in action. So here he just gets to hit one of the centaurs, which doesn't bother me at all, because he gets, it's not a counter, it's just -2/-2 till end of turn. Drawn to a guild gate. Okay, so here we just smash with everything. And then we'll pick off the gatekeepers with stab wound. At least I think we will. 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's almost tempting not to, just because the damage is going to kill him. But then again, that just seems overly greedy. Let's just stab wound. And stab wound. And we should, I can't imagine he's got anything that'll get him out of that. Yep, so that is game 1. Sideboarding. Okay, so this match can get really grindy here. He doesn't have, I mean, stab wound is an enchantment, so it might be worth having another Sundering Growth in. Duress seems like it could be decent. Celestial Flare is definitely in. Crypt Incursion I would like. More Grisly Spectacles seem pretty good. I actually don't like the Elvish Mystics. I just don't think you really need them. Might now have a little too much removal. I actually may take back out a Celestial Flare and a Grizzly. I think that's plenty of removal there. Cellar Songbirds is another one I think in this particular matchup. I mean, it's nice to have some early drops, but I don't think I'm really worried about the early drops. The long game is really going to be what it's about. And it looks like I took out one of the Ceruleas by accident. Definitely don't want to do that. The Coursers are all good. No, I must have accidentally taken out a Cerulean instead of a Grizzly, so we'll take the Grizzly back out. Stab Wound seems good. Altar's Reap seems decent. Duress here has some advantage. I wonder if I should get a certain number of them in. The Courser's Accords were really good that game. Yeah, hard choices here. Don't know exactly how this build. You know, the Sunspire Gatekeepers are not as good because he's going to have so many big guys that the 2/2 is actually not as relevant. I could easily take one of those out. Razor Tip Whip seems like it has some potential there as well, just the ability to deal lots of damage over time. Maybe one more Sunspire and one more Coursers and bring in both of the whips. Just if the game goes long, these are going to be really nice ways of grinding it out. But as you saw, it can actually go pretty quick too. He also is not going to have a lot of targets for this, for the Ubulsol. I'm actually tempted maybe I'll do a mix of Sunspire and Ubulsol, because this has some advantage, but it's not as good as it would be in other matchups. I really feel like he needs another Centaur healer in the board. That would be one of the changes that I would make to the deck. Am I running too few creatures? I guess with these counting technically as creatures, which is probably why the Mystics are in. So by taking these out, I'm kind of messing with the mana curve a little bit. Maybe I'll hedge. No, I think we'll just run it like this. Alright, so here we go for game 2. See what my opponent's able to do here. Okay, so we've got a Deadly Recluse, a Sunspire. We've got the mana. We don't have any. Oh, we got all our colors. Yeah, this is good. This will work just fine. Opponent's choosing whether or not to mulligan. He is playing first. He's not mulliganing. I'm not mulliganing. And we are off. Yeah, I was hoping today actually to bring you the beta client, but I was on it for a little bit today, and it was just a mess. It was showing me as not in the clan anymore, and was displaying all kinds of weird, unjoinable games, and yeah, it's a big mess. That's been my official position on the beta client today, is that it is a big mess. I'm going to go and get the Razor Tip Whip out here, just because this gets so much value over time. Just the ability to sit here and ping him little by little seems like it should be really good. Now he could have Sundering Growth. No, instead he has Centaur Healer, which is pretty good. But here, I don't really think I need to play this turn 4. I'm actually going to go ahead and play. Actually, I can do it anyway. Oh no, I can't because I don't have another gate. But here I'm just going to go and get the deadly recluse out, and that also allows me to keep pinging him. And I will happily make this trade. Other than the songbirds, this deck doesn't run any flyers, so I'm happy to just trade the recluse off if that's what he wants to do. And that does look like that is indeed what he wants to do. He could have the Celestial Flare here, which he does, so that's fine. Wasting that on a recluse is pretty good for me. Here, I think actually playing the Stab Wound on the Centaur seems like it's pretty good. Do I want to be able to get this out? I think I do. So do I pass on a... No, you know what? I'm just going to play the long game here. We'll go ahead and play this out. Stab Wound that. Ping him for 1 and pass the turn. That's another use for this Altar's Reap, is if your guys get Stab Wound, you're able to draw it out of it, to be able to sacrifice it and get a fairly nice value out of that. Alright, so let's see what he wants to do now. He's asking why people side in Whip. And, you know, Whip typically has been used against the Dimir Mill deck. And I think this, I mean, it can be fairly aggressive, but it's often not. So I actually think that it's a fine choice. Go ahead and play the second Guild Gate here, and that will allow me to go ahead and get the Sunspire online. And so now, let's see what we're able to do. Just talking again, explaining why, you know, talking more about the razor tip whip choice, and of course in the comments, love to hear what you think, if that was a good thing to side in or not. We'll try it if we go to a game 3. I'll try siding it out, but it seems like it's pretty decent value. See what he's got here in Ubelsaal? No, Ceruli. Okay, so we're definitely going long game here. Here, so I can't Stab Wound and Ceruli. So I think what I will do, I think if I swing in with this, will he block? Probably not. But if he does, I get to kill his Ceruli, which is perfectly fine with me. So we'll just see what he does. I'm assuming he won't block. He is going to block. Which I think is pretty good, because this Ceruli just isn't getting any better. Plus it allows me 1 extra mana to ping him with the Razor Tip Whip, which, you know, granted he just gained, what, 8 life, 7 life, so it's not doing a whole lot here, but it's doing something. And that bird has got a long way to go. So let's see what he's got here on this turn. Nothing. Okay. So now I have a Spectacle, and the board is clear, other than little Cellar Songbird, so we'll swing in here for 6. See what my opponent wants to do here. Wonder if how many of these he sided in. So that's fine. What is this? Oh, it's just Altar's Reaping. Okay, that's fine. Drop him to 21. Drop him to 20. Pass the turn back. Alright, so let's see what he's able to do now on this turn. What would be his turn 8. So again, we've played a lot of cards, not a lot has happened yet. He's had a few more land draws than I've had, but he's also played doubles Altar's Reap. Okay, so he does have the Stab Wound. I think here, I'm just going to go ahead, there's no sense even letting it resolve. Just go ahead and Altar's Reap there. Crypt Incursion, that'll end up being real nice. As we get close to the end, just the ability to sneak that in and get rid of, especially even countering another Crypt Incursion can be really good value. So he'll hit me for 1. And I'll play another Gatekeeper here, I think. Yeah. Get rid of that bird. Say bye-bye birdie. Could have left up Celestial Flare had I tapped my mana a little bit differently, but I don't think it's going to matter because I'm just going to Razor Tip anyway. Oh, he's got something here. Got an instant. Oh, he's got Grizzly Spectacle. Okay. I think I'm fine with that. Hit for 2. Pass the turn back. So despite the fact that he's drawn into a Forli already, I am fairly well ahead on the life in the life department. Don't want to Grizzly that, but probably Celestial Flare that is fine. And he's definitely drawn a lot more lands than me, a little bit flooded. So that's definitely going to be an advantage for me. I assume he'll block here? Yeah. And we'll use Celestial Flare on his Deadly Recluse. And hit for 2. I don't know, so far this Razor Tip Whip, I think has done a lot of damage. I mean, just the ability in long games just to sit there and peck away at him, I actually think is pretty good value. Granted, I got it early, which definitely helped. So he's got another Grizzly Spectacle. That's fine. I managed to mill out my Nessian Asp, which is not great. That would have been a really good card to have here. And he's got another Oogle Okay. Let's see what we draw. Another Guildgate. Isn't fantastic. So I think here we'll just go ahead and Stab Wound the Oogle pass the turn back. Oh, and I also need to make sure I ping. Alright, drawn to something good? Yeah, I'd say that's pretty decent. Can't actually attack with it yet, but that's not all bad. My opponent's saying that maybe the whip is actually pretty decent value here. Yeah, you know, so far so good. So here, go ahead and ping with the whip. Between the whip and the Stab Wound, the game's not going to last much longer. Need to make sure I leave up Crypt Incursion just in case he draws it, because that would be one of the ways that I could lose this game. In fact, I'm just going to go and whip now. Don't really need to do much here. Just going to sit back. He doesn't have any really good attacks. I'm going to make sure I leave up Crypt Incursion in case he's got it, but he drew yet another land. That really hurts him. Can't really even attack. I draw a land of my own. Ping him for 1. Yeah, now it's pretty inevitable at this point. I mean, he could find a Forli here. There's a couple things that could happen, but he's definitely in pretty dire straits. I think here I'm just happy to take 2. No sense losing any value there, although it probably doesn't matter because even if I block and yeah, so he's got another Oogle, which is fine. Don't think it's gonna matter. Yeah, because he's out of cards. Alright, so looks like I got the GG from my opponent, and hope you enjoyed watching how this Gatekeeper decks works. Opponent's asking what do I think of the build, and just saying that you know, I think it's pretty good. I wouldn't be playing it if I didn't think it was decent. Obviously against some real aggressive decks it's not as good, but he piloted it very well, and I just had some pretty decent draws this game, and yeah, so Hope you've enjoyed watching it, and I will see you next time.
In closing, let me remind you, you can keep up with all my writings and articles by following me on Twitter at the username gwyned42. That's GWYNED and the number 42. I also regularly publish articles over at puremtgo.com. Search for me by the username gwyned on that site, or find the link in the description of this video. I also maintain a blog now at writeradept.blogspot.com, and you can also find that in the description. Finally, if you enjoyed these videos, please remember to subscribe to my channel and post any feedback or comments. Thanks for watching.